Hello. So today we're going to do a HackerRank problem. This falls under Java strings, and this one specifically Java anagrams. So as you can see, I already have the code already written. So if that's all you want, you just pause the video, copy and paste it. Or you could just go into the description and copy and paste it from the GitHub page. If you want to learn how to do it, just sit tight. I'll be sure to fulfill that. So two strings A and B are called anagrams if they contain all the same characters and the same frequencies. For this challenge, the test is not case sensitive. Okay. So one thing I want to read is the return. So what would be the output of this? So we would be returning a Boolean, and don't forget that these are not case sensitive. So if they are anagrams, we will return true, otherwise return false. If you don't understand what an anagram is, I will explain it a little bit later. Just sit tight. But first, let's look at the input and the constraints. So we're going to be getting two inputs. One is going to be a string called A. Another one's going to be another string called B. Okay, and we're going to be comparing those two strings to one another. The constraints here. So the length of string A is going to be greater than 1 or equal to 1, but the length of A or B is going to be less than or equal to 50, and the length of B is also greater than or equal to 1. So now let's look at the one of the sample inputs. So anagram and Margarana. Our output is anagram, so that means that these two share the same frequency. So the explanation part I think is pretty straightforward. There's 3 characters in anagram that are the letter A, and there's 3 A's in Margarana, and then there's 2 G. I mean, there's 1 G in both. There's 1 N in both. There's 1 M in both, and there's 1 R in both. So it's pretty, I think, self-explanatory. I think everyone understands this, but just in case, let's look at the next example here, where we're actually, let's see this one. We're working with anagram with an extra M, and working with Margarana with an extra A. And then when we actually count this out, we'll see that there's one less A in anagram in Margarana, and there's also one more M in anagram than Margarana. So this would actually output not anagrams. And then the next example, they're just showing that the case sensitivity doesn't matter. So all right, let's get into the code. So first and foremost, first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the lengths of both A and B. So this one you can actually you don't exactly need this line of code right here. You could just compare directly A dot length and B dot length. But I don't like to do it just because of time complexity, even though it's not that big of a deal sometimes. But usually if you're doing a software engineering test, they're kind of nitpicky about that. Okay, so once we have our lengths, we're actually going to compare the two, and if both of them are not equal to each other, then that means that that one string is larger than the other. And if that's the case, then if one string is ever larger than the other, then that means the frequencies are going to be off. And if the frequencies are off, then that means they're not anagrams. So I'm going to give you a quick example right here. So say we have the word hello with an extra O, and then we have the same word hello that's actually written correctly. So that one extra letter, no matter what it is, it could be an A, it could be a B, it could be a C, E, Q, 1, 2, D, F, whatever, it would always not be an anagram. The anagrams have to be the same length. So if they're not the same length, then we just return false, and we can just end the program there. But say they are the same length, that's when we do actually have to perform a check here. So I made a variable called target, and this is going to be the character that we will be checking. So when we go through our for loop, if we refer to the first example problem, our target will be the individual characters. So on the first iteration, it'll be the letter A, and the second iteration will be the letter N. Okay, letter N. Trying to highlight it, and then on the third iteration, it'll be the letter A again, and then on the fourth iteration, it'll be the letter G, and then the next iteration will be the letter R, and so far, it's so on and so forth until we reach the end of the loop, and the loop will end when once we reach the length of the array, assuming we don't actually one of our conditions doesn't meet, which I'll speak on that later. So now let's get into our the next line of code, which would be line 21 here. So I know that so one of the things that the anagrams are, well, in this particular example, they're not case sensitive. So what I did was I just made them both. I made both strings A and B to lowercase, so that way I don't have to put an extra condition in the for loop to tell the program to say, hey, you know, if the letter A is capital, if the letter A is capital, continue on. Whereas I could just put them straight to lowercase, and then the program could just keep on flowing, and it won't have to stop for that. It won't have to stop to check the case sensitivity. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. You know. Okay. So now in the for loop here, we start at 0. I guess sorry about that. I made some last minute changes here, but you see the cases do work. Okay, so we start at the first character, and we're going to continue on to the end of the string. So here I used a.length, but since they're both equal, you could use b.length as well. And then of course, I'm incrementing I at the end of each iteration. So now let's get into line 24 here. So here again, we're setting our target to the first character on the first iteration, right, which would be A, and then when once we get through this, I will increment one more time, and then we'll be at the letter N. And once we're done with this, again, I will increment, right, I++, and then we would be at the letter A, and then one more time again. Once we increment I again, our next target will be the letter G, and then so on and so forth. Okay. And basically, what a.char at I does, it basically just pulls that that character from string A, and then I just added just concatenated these parentheses here. So because if you just do a.char at, you would actually get a character, and a character is not compatible with a string, so you have to concatenate all the parentheses here to actually make it a string, and you won't get an error. So now let's get into the juice of the actual program, which is the condition statement here. So before I get into it, I'm going to pull up another IDE here, and I'm going to explain to you what I did. So so the way this is going to work is, here we have string A anagram, and then we're setting our target to be the first character, so that would be the letter A. Okay, so we're going to be using just a little bit of regex here. So it's going to be a bracket plus bracket, and then we're going to have a I don't know what this is called. Sorry. We use it sometimes for exponents, but just that symbol there. For some reason we're going blank. So plus target. So we're concatenating the target variable in here, and then we're going to be just simply adding a closing bracket here. Okay, so now what this does is, if I do this correctly, we should only be getting all the A's in anagram. And we run it, we see we do. So here, you can see that right here, that we just get the A's. So on each iteration, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be getting the characters. So if we increment this, right, on the next iteration, we would only be getting the ends, and there's only one n. So what we do is we just compare the two. So here'll be another example. We have string b, which would be let's do n okay, whatever, and we'll do another one of these right here. I'm more of a visual learner, so this will probably help you out. Okay, so when we set our target variable to the first index, which would be a, you see that we end up with the, sorry, I didn't do that. So it's a, it's b that replace. We're gonna see that we have more a's in string a than in string b, and if that's the case, we simply just return false. Okay. Yeah, we would end the program then and there because clearly there's more a's than in the second string. And that's essentially what we're doing here in this condition. I know it's a lot to look at, but I'll walk it through right here. So what we're doing is we're doing a dot replace all, right? So that's the this is this statement right here. We're getting our a's, and then we're doing the equals method. So we're going to be comparing two strings with each other. So let me show you how that looks then, right? So right here, so it'll be a dot. So here, I'll copy paste this right here, and then we're going to be doing the equals method here. So we'll go like that. And when we run this, you see that we get false because both these are not the same. Now, if we were to add another a into it, then we would actually be fine in string. See, we would get true. So that's essentially what this line of code does, and this is really the meat of it right here. And if at any point our strings don't match, they don't have the same number of characters, then we just return false. Okay. If we end up making it through the whole loop, then we just return true. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment description, and I'll try to do my best to get back to you.